Yo, what is good, YouTube? It is your boy Charles here from the CG Sports Podcast, and as promised, for Week 5, we finally got a guest coming out here. I told you guys for the last couple weeks, I've been saying we're going to get a guest. I promised you guys last week we had one locked for this week, and here he is, man. You see him over to my right, my guy Snypz TV in the building. How you doing, bro?
And I'm good, man. I'm blessed to be here, man. And I tell you, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped to actually be a guest of your show here, man. You're doing big things here, and I definitely enjoy checking out the week-by-week predictions and everything else. I definitely enjoy this thing, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm going to give you a moment here because I know what you do is very similar to what I do. So I'm going to let you, go ahead, plug what you're doing, man. Let the people know.
I mean, pretty simple, man. I'm on twitch.tv/Snypz Television, SNYPZ television, all one word. Basically doing this, these Madden CFM leagues and just enjoying life and doing what I do, man. I love commentating. Love to continue to do this thing, and most importantly, I love bringing our Madden community together, man. It's a lot of fun, and I don't know if I'm gonna be stopping anytime soon.
Oh yeah, man, definitely doing one hell of a job over there, and all of my guys' Snypz links will be in the description if you guys want to check them out. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all that good stuff will be there for you guys if you do want to check them out. But nonetheless, we are going to get into these predictions, and similar to me, like Snypz, I do the whole broadcast and commentary thing, but we know a thing or two about the NFL, man. We not just living in this Madden world. We keep up with the NFL. We watching the games. We getting our stats together, and we ready to get this one going, man. So without further ado, we going to get right into these predictions. Y'all already know, man. We don't waste a lot of time, but I will tell you guys beforehand, this is going to be a bit of a longer episode because, I got the guest. I got my guy. We going to have some conversations. Going to talk about these games, and we going to get right into it, man. So we're going to start this one off. Thursday night, we got the NFC West matchup between the Rams and the Seahawks, man. And the Rams obviously coming off a tough loss to Arizona. Kyler Murray really proving himself, that Arizona offense, and the Seahawks as well had a bit of a rough week for us. So I want to hear what your thoughts are coming into this game.
Well, right now, obviously, I think that the Rams are going to be probably heavily favored in this one simply because if you look at the Seahawks offensive line, I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything on this team. So, with that being said, and the Rams they're probably a little bit ticked off the way they got demolished by Arizona. And shout out to Arizona. They played absolutely phenomenal football. But, man, I tell you, if you're going to ask, you haven't asked me yet, but I'll tell you right now, if you're going to ask me early here, I'm taking the Rams to win this one by 14 points.
Okay, I like the quick call right there, and I'm on board with you. I think the Rams, this is going to be a bit of a, I don't know if I necessarily call it a revenge game, but you're looking to avenge yourself. Obviously, like you said, Arizona was a team that came in 3-0 as well as the Rams, but it was really a game to kind of prove who's running this division, and a lot of people had the Rams winning that game, including myself, but obviously Cardinals came out big, and I think they'll definitely be looking to get some revenge, but I like what you said about that Seahawks O-line. It's definitely been questionable. I don't know if I'd necessarily call it, bad, but it has not proven itself to be solid enough, and we know how good this Rams defense is. They heavily disappointed last week. I think they're going to be coming out here with a vengeance. But the big thing I'm worried about more than that is going to be the Seattle defense. This is a team that last year we looked at, obviously added Jamal Adams, and everyone was kind of like, yeah, there's going to be this defensive powerhouse, but it really doesn't add up that way. It does not.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what, man. You're absolutely right in that regard. And it seems like to me, and I could be wrong, but it seems like to me that ever since Jamal Adams inked that contract, the defense just fluttered, and it's almost like it's right back to the Jets days. You know what I'm saying? That, you got this incredible, defensive player, and now the entire defense out the blue. It's almost like a cancer, unfortunately. I hate to say it like that, but it's almost like a cancer in the situation. But before, Jamal Adams was great last year. But again, remember, it was a contract year. He got his contract. So now what's going to happen? And we're early in the season, but man, right now, they are ridiculous right now.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I think you put it perfectly. It just seems like wherever this man goes, and obviously he's only been to two teams, but it just seems to be this trend where wherever he goes, the whole defense just crumbles around him. And even Adams in general, he's not a big coverage guy, and I think a lot of people thought him coming in at safety was going to be this big addition, but a lot of people don't realize it. Adams is a run stuffer. He's not a big coverage guy, and I believe there's a couple like D tackles who have more interceptions than he does in their careers. He's not a guy who's going to play you some amazing coverage and grab you interceptions. And the big problem with that is that Bobby Wagner's already filling that role. He does it all. He's the hybrid. He can play coverage. He can stuff runs, which is why even when they added him, it was like, what are you getting out of this guy? I mean, you might get some better tackling downfield, but how frequently are guys breaking things off into the open field like that? It's not a common thing, and like you said, it was a contract year, but I don't see it. And going back to this Seahawks defense, the Rams offense has looked red hot, specifically Cooper Kupp, who came in as a guy who we were kind of like, he's going to be great, but he's going to be behind Robert Woods. He's going to be the slot guy. He's going to be second on touches. It has not looked that way so far.
Nah, not at all, man. Cooper Kupp has been absolutely phenomenal, man. It's like Matthew Stafford just opened up a new can with that guy. Like, you nobody expected it, but I guarantee you Matthew Stafford did. And obviously he's shown and proven it right now. Cooper Kupp has been just absolutely amazing these past 4 weeks. And I think he's primed to have another big game coming up this Thursday as well too. And that's one of the reasons again why I got the Rams going winning this game by 14, man. I really do.
Yeah, and I don't see any way why they don't win this game. I mean, they seem to have the advantage on both sides of the ball. It would take nothing short of a miracle for Seattle to just kind of get everything together and somehow pull out a win here. But me, like you, I don't see it, man. I think Cooper Kupp is bound for another great game, and a guy that I'm kind of expecting to see some good things out of that we haven't seen much of is Tyler Higbee. He's had a bit of a slow start this year, but he's still one of the better receiving tight ends in football, and this is my big call for this week, is that I think Tyler Higbee will pop back onto the scene and be what we've seen him last year and even the year before that in their big Super Bowl run year and all that. I'm expecting something very similar out of him, and I think he's going to pop off and show us some of this game. But I'm with you there. I got Rams by 14 as well. We won't go too crazy into specific stats because we got a lot of games to talk about, but you heard it here, man. Rams by 14, and they go ahead and move to 4-1 and take, hopefully, a tie with Arizona if Arizona manages to lose this week, which we'll get into a little bit later. But going into our next game, this is going to be a bit of a lower tier game, but we're going to go with the New York Jets and the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Jets pulled off one of the craziest upsets I've seen in a little while. They played the Tennessee Titans. For those of you guys who don't know, it was Corey Davis's revenge tour game, playing against his former team, looking to make something happen. And I got to give credit immediately, even though I don't think they should have won this game, because I don't know if you saw the game, but they won. Yeah, they won on a missed field goal that would have sent the game to overtime. But I got to give credit. Even if they did end up losing that game, I got to give credit to Zach Wilson, man. The guy played a hell of a game. And coming into that week, people were questioning him all over the place. Is this the guy? Is he just going to be another bust? It's 4 weeks in, and he already looks like he's going to flop this year. But he really came out, and he did his thing against Tennessee. Now, warranted, Tennessee don't got the greatest defense. But you can't take away from what he did. Almost 300 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. He played a hell of a game, and it definitely showed, but they have a tough matchup coming up against these Atlanta Falcons.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. The Atlanta Falcons, on the other side, we have not seen what they can do yet offensively. Obviously, I'm a big Giants fan. My Giants lost to the Falcons last-second field goal. That's how they got their one win. But we have not seen, the true Atlanta Falcons just yet, in my opinion. They are, although they're 1-3, they're one of the better defenses in the league, to be quite honest with you. They get after the football. They just have moments in games where they get scatterbrained. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that it's like that with them, but they just get scatterbrained, and that's why they end up losing, particular games. On the other side of football with the Jets, though, again, like you said, you give credit to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was absolutely sensational this past week. I don't think he's going to have that same type of game against this defense. Again, this is a defense that gets after the football. And mind you, this is a London game. So this is a game that they're going to be overseas. A little bit of a different feel. So, and, you know, the Jets don't do too good when they go overseas. I don't have their exact record, but they and I should have looked that up beforehand. My bad on the stat thing with that one. but again, I know the Jets have lost quite a bit overseas. So I don't think they're going to do that good as well here in this one. I got the Falcons winning this one by 10. I got them winning by 10, 27-17. I think they're going to put up 27 points. I'm predicting a big game from that man, Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
Give me a big game, Kyle Pitts. Let's go.
Okay, and yeah, Kyle Pitts really hasn't shown us a lot yet. And I think that the big reason we can kind of give that to is because he's still the backup tight end on this roster. Hayden Hurst is still there. He's still doing his thing. So he hasn't gotten as many touches as I would have liked. But the way I see it, why not throw this guy out there a wide receiver?
Exactly.
He's got the size. He's got the speed. He's got the athleticism. He's a mismatch for practically any corner in the game. If you're not going to play him at tight end, give him a shot at receiver at that point. I would really like to see that. But I agree with you. The Jets have not been a consistent team. Forget playing out of the country. They have not been a consistent team in general. And like you said, I think they're going to have a lot tougher time with this defense. And Wilson looked great, but I don't see the same performance this week. And something big to think about here in favor of the Falcons is safety Marcus May, who's been a big playmaker for this Jets team, out with an ankle injury. Not going to be playing on Sunday, and obviously not a crazy impact, but this is a guy that can help a lot with those deeper passes downfield. So who knows, that might end up opening the field for some of these other guys. Hopefully Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, one of these guys who have the speed to make big plays downfield. Maybe Matt Ryan will target one of them with that out of the picture, but nonetheless, I'm on board with you with this one. Not too much really to talk about here because it is the Jets, but I think they got their one win. I don't see the Jets winning 2 in a row, man. I'm with you there. I think the Falcons win this one. I'm going to take them by 17, though. I think they get an extra 3 on the board sometime later in the game, you know, but nonetheless, we're on the same page here. Falcons take this one with ease against the New York Jets and move up to 2-3. Jets fall to 1-4. And for the next game, we're coming to a team that almost pulled off one hell of an upset like the Jets did, but weren't able to fully do it. We got the New England Patriots heading down to Houston, Texas to match up with the Texans.
Man, this game right here, man, you know, I think the Texans, they're just dealing with so much. I think New England is going to, you know, the game that they just played against Tom Brady and the Bucs, they lost by 2 points. They won that game, in my opinion. They actually won that game. That was a game that they should have pulled off. They should have won. Mac Jones, he's, to me, bar none, the best rookie quarterback out right now. He's proven it. He's shown it day in and day out. He's shown poise. He's shown he's got a little bit of a sling, and I like what he's doing. Again, the Texans are just dealing with way too much. They got too much going on. And I'm just gonna pick this here real quickly here because you know Patriots I'm not a big fan of, but I gotta pick the Patriots in this game, and I'm gonna pick them to win this one by 7. And I'm going here. I think they're gonna put up 27 points. So I'm taking 27-20 Patriots over the Texans.
Okay. Hot shot right there. Wow. I'm going to agree with you on that Mac Jones take right there. I do think he's the best rookie quarterback in the class, at least for right now. Keep in mind, if you're watching this like way later and some other QB wins it, we're still in week 4, heading into week 5. But I would agree right now, he's the best QB, and that's definitely a win. If Tom Brady beats you by 2 points, that's a win in their book, and they definitely should have won that game, but it's as simple as Tom Brady being Tom Brady. He's the king of the 2-minute drill. There's not really much you can do there, especially with the talent they have. But like you said, the Texans just in a weird spot, obviously. Watson's been out since week 1, you know, his whole allegation or whatever. Tyrod Taylor gets hurt early. I believe it was week 2 he got hurt. And from then on, they got Davis Mills in at quarterback, and he's not the guy. He can't do it. I don't see him winning against 30 out of 32 teams here, let alone getting one against New England, who I have to give credit to their defense. To hold Tampa Bay to 19 last week was one hell of a feat, and they have so much talent on all three levels. The D-line, the linebacking core, and the secondary, all so much talent on that team, and I love it. I really do. I think the Patriots did one hell of a job, but I'm going to agree with you here. I do think they're going to win, but I don't see as many points going up as you do. I'm going to have them winning also by 7, but my score prediction here is going to be 23-16 is going to be my score. I don't see the Texans putting up that many points. Obviously, they still got some good guys on this roster, still some decent running backs. They still got Brandon Cooks, but I don't see Davis Mills putting up 20 points. I don't see it there. Hey, I could be wrong, but that's just the way I'm seeing it. That Texans offense is not all there just yet. Maybe, Davis Mills will get into a rhythm, start putting up some points, but for now, 23-16 is going to be my score. But as you guys heard, Patriots are taking this one, man. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to take this one.
Agreed.
So moving on to our next game. This is going to be our 4th game of the week. It's going to be the Lions and the Vikings, an NFC North divisional matchup. 2 of the bottom tier teams in this division, if I do say so myself. Give me your thoughts on this one.
This one here is going to be interesting. You got a Vikings team that can put points on the board, and you got a Lions team. Granted, they're 0-4. They're probably the best 0-4 team in football. And, these guys have grit. They fight for their new coach, Dan Campbell. I like what the Lions, are looking to do for the future. They have some solid players there. I enjoy looking at what they do. I got the Sunday ticket, so I check out a lot of different games, and I've been peeping the Lions a little bit. These guys fight. They fight and they claw for their coach. I respect that so much about teams that, I know eventually they're going to get that first dub for the season. And I think it comes here in this divisional matchup. I think they're going to win this one by 3, 23-20. And I really think that, again, the Vikings are solid. They definitely should win this game. Okay? They definitely should win this game. But I'm going Lions just for that grit and fight that they show every single week. And I think they're going to win this game 23-20 and crack their first dub for the season.
Okay. I like the pick, but I can't agree with you on that one, man. I'm going Minnesota. And I know it might be the obvious pick here, but sometimes the obvious pick is the one you got to take. It's obvious for a reason, and I'm going to tell you why. Indeed. So the Lions, obviously, like you said, they've got some grit. They've proven that they can put some points on the board. They've done it against some pretty damn solid teams. I mean, the Bears, but for the Bears to lock them down, that was kind of like a turnoff for me for this team's offense. I mean, you've seen they gave Green Bay one hell of a fight.
Man.
But to put up 14 on the Bears it makes me feel like that was kind of a one-hit wonder in that Green Bay game. And the Vikings, they got a pretty damn good defense. Great linebacking core, Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks, of course, Harrison Smith holding down the secondary. Got Danielle Hunter in there playing D-end. I think it's going to be a little too much for Jared Goff and company. And the big thing is, too, with the Lions is I just don't think they have the weapons to get it done. Don't get me wrong. They got 2 great running backs. They got DeAndre Swift and they got Javonte Williams. Both guys have been great. They got TJ Hockenson at tight end. But outside of that, I don't see enough talent to really do anything. I think that the linebacking core of Minnesota is going to have enough. They can lock down Hockenson. The other linebacker, whoever that will be, can hold down those running backs enough. I think they'll be able to get some good pressure on Goff, and I think the Vikings should have this one. Now, my score, I know you had a decently high-scoring game. Mine is going to be a little bit different. I got the Vikings winning this one 24-13.
Oh, okay.
So I do
11-point game. Okay.
Yeah, I do think the Lions will come out with a touchdown. I would assume it maybe be to one of those running backs, maybe get downfield, throw a little check down in the red zone, something of the sorts. The Lions don't really throw downfield a great amount. I don't really see them getting any big-time plays like that, but I think the big difference maker is going to be that Minnesota defense. Despite their record, they've played pretty damn solid. I mean, you give the Browns 14 points with that offense they have, that great running back duo. They got OBJ, who's kind of been a bit better. They got Njoku still. They still got Landry. They still got some talent on that offense. And, of course, Baker at the helm. Them holding them to 14, I don't see any way that they don't hold the Lions to the same par and come out with a win today or on Sunday.
I mean, you know what I mean? In a sense, I agree with you there. I just think that this is a grit fight game right here that I think the Lions can take. And just food for thought here as well, too. And again, I understand it was a different quarterback at the time. But the last time these guys played was in January, I guess the last week of the season. And the Vikings won by 2, 37-35. So just keep that in mind as well, too, that the fight it's like the Lions. The fight is always there with Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
It's always there with this team. No matter what quarterback is there, it seems like the fight is always there for this team. And I think, this is just one of those particular games, especially a divisional game, that I think they could pull off. And I think they could get this one by 3 points. I really, really do. I'm sensing a win today. First win for the Lions.
Okay. And I totally agree with you. I mean, there's nothing like a divisional game. Teams obviously play with a lot more heart. The games are a lot more aggressive, a lot more important to win those games within your division. So I could absolutely see it happening for sure. But like I said, I think that defense is going to be too much. But I do agree they have had some close games in the past.
Yeah.
But the way I see it, and this is something that I just want to bring up to you, the Lions last year had Kenny Golladay, who was a big help. And Jared Goff, in my opinion, is not no Matt Stafford.
No.
He is not no Matt Stafford. I think with coming through with the same roster as last year, we could have had a closely contested game, but I think between Jared Goff, loss of Kenny Golladay, I think the Vikings got this one with ease. But nonetheless, this is going to be, if we go the same for the rest of our picks, this will be our difference maker on who really knows what they're talking about. All right, moving on to our next game. We got my team, the Philadelphia Eagles, heading on down to Carolina to match up with the Panthers, man. And, oh, man. Well,
you know what? I'll let you start off here with this one. This is your team, so I'm gonna let you start off with this one here.
Now, I don't know if you've seen when I was on League Crawler a couple weeks ago, but me and Mo did a couple early predictions. He had me pick between the Niners and the Eagles, and he was like, "Oh man, I thought you would just pick the Eagles because they're your team, and I get an easy win." I told him, "No, man. I'm real. I'll be real here. I ain't going to tell you that the Eagles are going to win on Sunday because I know damn well the Eagles are not winning on Sunday." And I'll say this, though. It's going to be a lot closer than it would have been without Christian McCaffrey out there on that field. He is a huge he is that offense. To put it simply, he is that offense. He is the heart and soul. He's the main guy. He's the guy who not only runs the ball but has a majority of the receptions. He owns that offense pretty much, and without him, it's going to be rough. But I don't think the Eagles have it in them to take down Carolina.
Man, I'm going the other way, man, on this one. And again, I'm an NFC East guy. I want to see the Eagles lose, but again, I got to say right now, man, again, the Eagles, the biggest factor is what you stated a second ago. Christian McCaffrey's not going to be on the field. They struggled. Sam Darnold had to score points for them, this past week with 2 rushing touchdowns. Sam Darnold, okay, he's rushing the football, and actually, didn't he go into the game as one of the leading rushers in the league?
He did. He has a lot of rushing touchdowns this year. I think he's already got 5 or 6.
Yeah. I mean, so if you got a guy that's going in here that's not even known for doing this. I mean, we knew that he was. That he was athletic and he could do things, but the Jets just didn't give him the personnel to do what he needed to do. But at the end of the day, you knew this guy could do these type of things, and now Matt Rule is allowing this guy to just run rampant and do what he wants to do, and he's coming through with some great success, no doubt about it. But I think again, Philly is one of those teams. Almost like my Giants, where you play down. They like to sometimes play down to the level of competition. Yeah. But then sometimes, man, they just have one of those games that's like they're just pumped, and something big happens. And this is another game that I'm taking an underdog, and I gotta take the Eagles in this one. This, to me, though, is not going to be a high-scoring game. Again, primarily because of Christian McCaffrey. I think this is going to be a 17-14 game. Eagles take the dub by 3.
Okay, and I'm going to give you a little opportunity to change your thinking here after I give you a couple injuries on Philly's side for this game. So Starting off, Lane Johnson out of this game. All-pro right tackle out. No illness, nothing like that. It's a personal thing, so we don't really know what's going on there. Brandon Brooks, all-pro right guard, out on IR with an ankle injury. And defensive end Brandon Graham, who was the guy, I mean, he forced a fumble on Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. One hell of a play. He also got us a touchdown 2 weeks ago against San Fran while they were on their own 1 yard line. So one hell of a defensive end. He's also on IR with an ankle injury. So a couple injuries there that are going to hinder this game a little bit. But I think the big thing for Carolina, like you said, Sam Darnold's had to do a lot of it himself. But DJ Moore has still been phenomenal. DJ Moore has done a hell of a job. Even last week, he had a good amount of receptions. Not a normal game for him, but he played really well. And the Eagles, from watching them personally, they have struggled. Their secondary has struggled. When we played Atlanta, Calvin Ridley couldn't go 2 plays without getting the 10-yard reception. When we played San Fran, Deebo Samuel ran it up on us. And last week, Tyreek Hill, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The Eagles have consistently struggled to guard wide receivers, and I don't see it getting any better this week. Now, Carolina is sitting at -3.5 right now on the spread, and I think you take that bet 10 times out of 10. I think they win this one, and my final score is going to be, like you said, a bit of a lower scoring game, and I'm going to go 20-10 for Carolina in this one. I think they get 2 touchdowns on the board, and the Eagles will get one up there, but I don't see them beating Carolina. I don't.
You know what? You just mentioned 2 key injuries. And now that you mentioned those injuries, I got to flip it. Okay. I have to. I have no choice. Now I have to flip it. I'm going to still say 17-14.
Just the other way.
But it'll be the other way. Okay. Carolina will take the dub. I didn't know that they had Lane Johnson. And who else did you say?
Brandon Brooks and Brandon Graham.
Yeah, you have Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson off the. Those 2 alone off of the offensive line. Forget about it. Nah. They're gonna rush the QB like no other and force Jalen Hurts to just make some crazy, like some bad plays. So I don't. Yeah, 17-14 Carolina. Yep, that's my first flip. You got me.
I figured I'd get you after that one. So let's move on.
You got me on that.
Another fellow NFC East division member for our next game. It's going to be the Washington football team, and they're going to be matching up against the New Orleans Saints. Now, I know you're a Giants guy, so you've seen how abysmal this Saints team played last week. And for me, when I came into this game on my episode for last week, I was so confident in that Saints team that they were just going to come into MetLife Stadium and dominate. I thought there was no chance they could cover Kamara. They could cover Jameis Winston, who, since his Week 1 game, has slowed down a bit, but he has seemed to find a rhythm again. But the Giants did it, man. I don't know how, but they showed out last week for sure.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you like this, and just talking about this Saints-Washington football team game, if the Saints, I'll tell you right now, if the Saints come out and play the way they played against my Giants, okay, there's no way they're winning this game. Washington will dominate them, even with Taylor Heineke and all. Listen, and Taylor Heineke is not a bad QB. He's really not that bad. He's just like your Jameis Winston. Just settle down, just move the football. I don't have to do nothing too crazy. You know what I'm saying? He's just dip and dump. That's really all he has to do. And the bottom line, this defense for the Washington football team, I mean, I don't see how the Saints could get by this. Again, that's if they play the same way that they played against the Giants. They had a real hard time against us, and we are definitely not the best defense. But again, if you ask me to pick right now, I'll take the Washington football team to win this game. I'll take them to win this by 7. I think they'll win it 28-21. Again, because Jameis Winston, he's just one of those guys that when he gets it, when he gets in a situation and he starts to, play a certain way, it's like he plays like that for a few weeks in a row.
Yep.
We've seen that in the past,
Uh-huh.
and I think we're gonna see it again for the next couple of weeks, and they're gonna start to kind of flutter in that division a little bit. Because obviously they're in the division with Carolina. If Carolina wins their game, they're sitting at 4-1, while you're just sputtering down, and you're gonna find yourself out of contest. You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, for this game, for right now, I got to take the Washington football team right now to win this game. 28-21, I think, is going to be the final score.
Okay, and you hit it right on the money, man. The first thing I was going to say, too, is about Taylor Heinicke. Played against Atlanta last week, 3 touchdowns, little over 300 yards. And he, like you said, he's not a bad quarterback. A lot of people just seen this guy as Dwayne Haskins' replacement, Ryan Fitzpatrick's replacement. He is not that guy. The guy knows what he's doing, and he has been proving it week after week. And he did it against the Giants, which I know you don't want to hear about that because we know what happened in that game. A very unfortunate turn of events, but he played a hell of a game. And the big thing about Heinicke that I love is that he's got the talent surrounding him, and he knows how to use the guys around him. He's got Terry McLaurin, young receiver, hell of a playmaker, made like an insane catch a couple weeks ago. He's got Logan Thomas, who has come onto the scene as one of the better tight ends in the league. He's got that great running back duo, and Antonio Gibson, he's your power back. J.D. McKissick, he's your receiving back, your elusive back. He knows how to work these guys into the offense, and he's done it well. Like you said, the Saints, when Jameis Winston has a bad game, it follows that same way for the next couple weeks, and I'm on board with you right there. I'd like to give the Saints the edge here just because of the talent they have offensively, but I can't do it, man. I got to rock with Washington. They've been so good these past couple weeks. The Saints have struggled. And I got to say here for the Saints, if you do want to come out here and win this game, and it's something I haven't seen enough of, you got to get Alvin Kamara involved. 2 weeks ago, Kamara ended the game with 5 rushing yards. 5. This is your running back 1. This is a guy that was considered the second best running back in all of fantasy football strictly because of how much he gets the ball. And he hasn't done enough, and I don't even know that you can really blame him because I've watched the Saints-Giants game last week, and there was a couple of times where I'm sitting here telling myself, why are you not throwing to Kamara? Because what you got to start understanding is that Kamara's a guy who could take a check down and cut it upfield, make a couple guys miss, and just like that, he's in the end zone. You got to take the risk and give this guy the ball and let him do something. And Winston, to me, seems like he's playing a little too conservative and not giving his guy the ball enough. So I think the big factor for the Saints, if they want to win, is get Kamara involved, let him get hot, because once he does, you're not stopping him. But I'm on board with you here. I think Washington takes this one home. Saints, I don't see them bouncing back this week. And I'm gonna take a little bit of a different score here. And I am going to take Washington to win this one, and my final score is going to be 21-13. It's going to be my score. I got a little bit of a lower scoring game here. I don't think the Saints put as many points on the board just because of how out of whack Jameis Winston has looked.
I'll tell you real quick, and before we get to the next game, I'll tell you the one thing that I don't like about the Saints. I think that throughout this past few weeks, these opening weeks here, I think they focus more on getting Taysom Hill involved than they do Alvin Kamara. I think that's the issue.
Absolutely. And that's not a knock at Taysom Hill because when they
not at all.
You see they put that guy in at QB in the red zone, and it's a great way to keep the defense on their toes because now you got to think, is he going to take this ball and just QB power right up the middle? Is he actually going to throw? Is it going to be a read option? Are they going to mix it up and actually give it to the running back? Is he just a decoy? It keeps the defense on their toes, but at some point, you got to say, all right, we used him, but I think his time really has to be minimalized at the quarterback position. If you still want to throw him in at running back every once in a while, you want to throw him in at tight end every once in a while, that's fine. But I think if it's not inside the 10-yard line, I don't see a reason they should be bringing him in. I see them bring him in on their own 35-yard line, and I'm just, what are you doing with this guy? I don't see it, but I completely agree with you. He's got to get involved more. They got to get this guy the ball, especially without Michael Thomas for who knows how long at this point. He's got to be the guy. You got to feed him the ball because other than him, who's really been doing much for this Saints team? I mean, the tight end, I believe Jawan Johnson has improved and shown some potential, but he's not at that level yet to where he's going to be your number one guy. It's Kamara or bust right now for the Saints. and they're not even using the one all-pro guy they have.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
So you heard it here. Washington coming through with a big-time win in Week 5. They move up to 3-2, which could get them pretty damn high in this division, and actually maybe even put them in first place if the Cowboys lose, which we'll get into a little bit later. But for our next game, it's going to be an AFC South divisional matchup, and this is one that I'm pretty sure we'll run through this one pretty quickly. We got the Titans at the Jaguars, and I'm going to let you take this one over, man.
Yeah, the Titans and the Jags. Titans should win this game. To me, they should win this game easy. They should win this game. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they should put up 35 points on the Jags.
I was gonna say at least 30.
Yeah, they should put up 35 points on the Jags. I think they'll win this game. I think they'll win this game 35 to 20. I think they'll win it by 15 points. Yeah, I'm calling a big game on this one here. Too much going on with the Jags right now. You got coaching issues right now. He doesn't have any type of camaraderie at all in the locker room, and this is his first year. I just got a feeling he's going to be right back in college in the next year or two, and he's not going to be coaching the NFL team. I think they're going to get rid of him if they keep losing. But right now, I don't see them doing much of anything, and it's unfortunate, for a rookie quarterback. You know what I mean? And Trevor Lawrence. It's unfortunate for him. It's unfortunate for those players on the Jags, because this can be a good team. But I truly think that what's going on right now, and just the lack of the lack of coaching ability on the professional level for Urban Meyer, it's just not going to work out. And in this particular game, obviously you got Derrick Henry. You got Brown. You got so much going on here with the Titans. They should dominate this game, man, easily. 35-20. Titans taking this one. They're moving on to 3-2.
Okay, and I like the call there. I'm all on board with that one. I think Titans win this one with ease, and like you said, Urban Meyer, this has not begun to done, and like you said, I would not be surprised if that man gets sent right back down to college football. I don't think he's NFL ready. But, yeah, it should be no problems here for Tennessee. Obviously, Jacksonville they're in a weird situation. I mean, you got Trevor Lawrence, who was considered, there's no chance he wasn't going number one, and obviously that's how it went, but he really hasn't shown me that he should be a number one pick.
Not yet.
It really, I mean, obviously, it's only week 4. He's still got a lot of time to kind of prove himself. He's still in his first year, still got time to develop, all that good stuff, but for how much hype he got, you should definitely be expecting more than a winless record right now.
Yes, indeed.
And the thing is obviously the Jaguars have had a couple tough matchups. They've played Arizona. They played against Denver. They had some decently tough games, but the thing is, if they were losing off of their defense, let's just say if their defense was heavily struggling, then you could say Trevor's has a winless record, but at least he's playing well. It's just the defense. You can't say that. You can't give this guy any leeway. He's been making bad reads. He's just not playing like himself from college. There's no leeway you could give this guy, despite the fact that he's young. That's the only thing you could give him. But the Jaguars have really struggled. Their rookie running back, Travis Etienne, out for the season, which has been obviously a big loss for them. James Robinson.
Big loss, yep.
Robinson has been struggling heavily. They haven't really had that true offensive target. They got DJ Chark. He hasn't been amazing. Marvin Jones hasn't done much. The only guy on offense who we could really commend is Laviska Shenault Jr., the wide receiver, has had a couple solid games, but I don't see much going here against Tennessee. Obviously, Derrick Henry and company. There's not really too much to say there, but my score is going to be a little bit different than yours. I just don't see the Jaguars putting up 20 points. And I don't see I do have the Titans putting up 30+. I'm going to give them 31. I say 4 touchdowns and a field goal for them, so 31. But I think for the Jaguars, their final score is going to be 16. I'll give them a touchdown and 3 field goals. I don't see them breaking into 20 points, let alone scoring 2 touchdowns in general. I think, obviously there's 4 quarters. You should be able to manage to score at least 1 touchdown and get some points on the board. But my final score is going to be 31-16. But you heard it here, man. Titans should win this one with ease. Shouldn't be any problems there. And the big reason why is simply who did the Jaguars have on defense? Like, if you remember a couple years ago, there was a couple guys on the team that were solid. You had the great cornerback duo in Ramsey and Boye, who were kind of doing their thing, and then everything else was kind of solid. Like you had Ngakoue out there, and there was some guys, but now I look at that defense, and I don't see anybody that is in any way capable of stopping this Titans offense.
Nah, not at all.
Nobody there. So Titans take this one, moving up, like you said, to 3-2, and starting to put in some work in this AFC South. Moving on to our next game, we got the battle of the Florida teams. Miami Dolphins, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In Tampa Bay, and I'm going to start this thing off by saying Myles Gaskin needs the ball more. The guy got 2 carries last week. This is the guy that coming into the year was called the guaranteed running back 1. This was the guy that's supposed to pop off. I was so confident in him, I drafted him to my fantasy team, and the guy is disappointed. Get this. This is just to give you some context here. The running back 2 on the Dolphins got more carries than him last week. The running back 3.
That's crazy.
The running back 3 on the Dolphins got more carries than him. Jacoby Brissett, the quarterback, got more rushing attempts than Myles Gaskin last week. Mr. Coveted running back 1. Mr. I'm going to take a step up and be a top 15 running back is getting outrushed by the quarterback. It's unbelievable.
Terrible.
And it's not even like you can look at this and say he's not producing enough. He's not averaging enough yards per carry. The guy's averaging 3.5 yards per carry. To me, that's enough for me to give him the ball for every touch at the running back position. Let alone if you're splitting 50-50 with him, that's fine. But the guy doesn't get the ball, and I don't know what's going on with the Dolphins. They've said recently that they're kind of giving up on him, that Malcolm Brown, who's their backup running back, was the guy they wanted all along. So he's going to be getting a big step up in touches, but I don't think it matters too much here. I think this game is similar to the last one where we kind of all know who's going to win. It's just a matter of how badly they do it.
You know what I mean? I'm not even going to spend a whole lot of time on this. Tom Brady, Bucks, they're going to take it. They're going to win this one by 17. I got them winning this one 30. You know what? Not even 30. I don't think they're going to put up 30. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what? I'm changing it up. 28-10 is the final call of this game. I give the Dolphins a touchdown and a field goal. That's it.
Okay.
The Bucks are taking this game with ease.
Okay, and my score is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to go the same realm as you. I'm going to give them an 18-point victory, but mine is actually going to be 27-9. And I know you're thinking, how does that math that up? I don't have the Dolphins scoring a touchdown in this game. Not one.
Okay.
Jacoby Brissett just has not done enough for me. Their struggles in the run game is going to be a problem. And something else to keep in mind here that's really going to affect them is Will Fuller has a hand injury out on Sunday, already confirmed, which I think is definitely going to hinder them because he plays a role similar to a Mecole Hardman or a John Ross, where he's a guy with some speed that's going to open up the offense for everybody else by being a deep threat. And him being gone, I think it's going to hurt them a bit. Obviously, they still got Jalen Waddle. He does a similar concept. Mike Gesicki, still a good tight end, but I don't see them getting in the end zone here. I think the Bucs are too good on all 3 levels, and I think they're going to shut them down. So my score is going to be 27-9. I believe you said 28-10.
Yep.
And that's going to do it. We're not going to waste too much time on that game.
Nope.
If it's an easy win, I'm not going to waste everybody's time talking about it. And it's looking like we might be going 3 in a row here with easy calls because our next game is going to be the Green Bay Packers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, this is the craziest thing. If you told me coming into Week 5 that the Packers and the Bengals would have the same record, I would have called you crazy. But here we are. Both teams at 3-1.
Man, another team with grit and fight with the Bengals. You know, I can't even name a lot of guys on this squad. You know what I mean? Besides Joe Burrow. You know, they lost some key players last year. But at the end of the day, the team is fighting. They're winning football games. They're beating teams that they're supposed to beat. They're good enough, and I've said for a long time actually that this team is good enough to beat a team like Pittsburgh. They finally did it this year. You know what I mean? They beat Pittsburgh this year. You know, a big game that they played. What was it, last Thursday?
Yeah, they played Jacksonville.
Yeah, they played Jacksonville, and Jacksonville gave them a run for their money. They did. but they did pull it off at the end and ended up winning the game. So it was a great win for them in that regard. But you're talking about one of the best to ever do it, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Devontae Adams, probably the best wide receiver in the game right now. You know what I mean? The fact that, Aaron Rodgers has a security blanket in Randall Cobb. He wanted him back here, back to Green Bay, and they made it happen because they know that Aaron Rodgers does know personnel. Yep. I'll be honest with you. He's a guy that I would give him power to make personnel decisions in the league.
Absolutely.
I would give him power. He knows personnel and he knows what works for the team. And he's shown it time and time again. He said he wanted Randall Cobb. Look what they're doing.
Yeah, what I mean? And he's been solid.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm definitely going to agree with you there. Bengals, like you said, one hell of a performance. Down 14 against Jacksonville, claw their way back and come back with a win. And the thing I love about Cincinnati more than anything is their receiving core. I love it so much, man. Tyler Boyd, been a decent receiver for a long time now, really starting to prove himself. T. Higgins out there doing great, and you can't discredit the rookie, Jamar Chase. He has been phenomenal through 4 weeks. Just not too many touchdowns, but his production has just been so good. And obviously when you got Joe Mixon in the backfield as well for when you do need to pound the rock, this Bengals team looks good. And like you said, they've won the games that they need to win. They beat Pittsburgh, which was a game I didn't see them winning. They beat Jacksonville. I did see them winning that, but you can't take away from them. To be down 14 coming into the fourth quarter and bring that game back is one hell of a feat. But like you said, it's Green Bay. It's Aaron Rodgers and company. I don't see it. Even with Green Bay on the road, I don't see a way they lose this game. But I will say this before I give out my score prediction. I got the Bengals giving them a run for their money and giving them some fight. Because this is a team that looks dedicated. They look motivated. They look like they want to win this division. And I think they're going to prove it.
Hey, look, you know what I mean? Before you give your score prediction, I'm going to give you mine. Okay. I think they're going to give them a run for their money too. All right? I got the final score of 41-31. I think the Packers are going to, 42-31. Apologies. I did write it down here. I got the final score in that one, 42-31. 42-31 with those guys. I think they're definitely going to give them a run. And that was the other guy that I should have mentioned was Jamar Chase, because he does look absolutely fantastic. And you mentioned other guys too, like T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. They're great, great wide receivers as well too. I just couldn't think about their name off the top of my head, because you talk about the Bengals, all I think about is Joe Burrow. That's all I think about. You know what I mean? Because it's just they just haven't, to me, been a team that you really talk about. But they've been shown and proven throughout this season, and I got to give them props where it's due. They're winning football games. You know what I mean? The Pittsburgh game, I picked them to win that game just because I think Ben is washed up. Ben is done, in my opinion. He's washed up. That's a matter of fact, to me, that's a game we can discuss for about 30 seconds.
And that's going to be our next one.
Yeah. Well, there it is. You know what I'm saying? So I got 42-31 Green Bay taking this one. Again, it's going to be an 11-point game. But I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's going to put the points on the board. 42-31 is the final count of this one.
Okay. And I'm going to give you a similar score here. I got to be in a little bit closer and a little bit lower scoring. Listen, the Packers are great, but 6 touchdowns might be a bit of a stretch the way I see it. I still got them scoring a lot of points.
AR, man? I don't know,
listen,
bro.
Rodgers is a beast, man, but think about it, right? If they score 6 touchdowns, I'd like to think a running back is going to grab 1, if not 2 of them. Do we really have Aaron Rodgers scoring 4 touchdowns and then Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon grabbing 2?
You got to look at it in a sense, though, with the Packers. You really got to look at it in the sense of, look, these guys, they just simply, they don't stop.
No,
if they're up, they don't stop. They'll keep trying to score.
Yeah.
They don't stop. They're damn near like the Patriots, of old, where they'll just come out and they'll still keep trying to score on you. That's what the Packers do. They can be up by 27 and they will still sling the rock on you.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I got them scoring 42 points.
Okay. I'm going to be a little bit lower here. I got them going for 4 touchdowns. I think Rodgers throws for 3. Aaron Jones rushing for 1. And my final score here is going to be 34-27 in favor of Green Bay.
Ooh, that's close.
I think, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the Bengals can keep them within 1 possession. I really like Joe Mixon. I like Joe Burrow. I like this offense, but I don't think the defense has it in them to kind of keep up. I think the defense will be the losing point for them, but I will say this. If the Bengals can catch Rodgers off his game, get him into some early trouble, get into an early lead, you might have a shot at winning, but that's obviously, how often does that happen? How often does Rodgers throw a pick or 2 in the first quarter and find himself down 14, 17 points? It's not a common occurrence. I don't see the Bengals defense being talented enough to do it. So 34-27 for me, 42-31 for you. Packers coming out on top. And now we're going to move into the guy that you were just talking about in Big Ben. We got the Steelers matching up with the Broncos. Now, the first thing I want to say here is that I told you so. For all you guys who watch the Week 4 predictions, I told you so. A lot of people have been putting a lot of hype into the Denver Broncos, and I've said it time and time again. I won't believe it until they play a real team, and that's no hate on your Giants. Not at all. They're a great team, but they're not at that top level to where we can say, you are a good team because you beat the Giants. You are a good team because you beat the Jets. You are a good team because you beat the Jaguars. That just don't sound right. They got their big matchup. They got their chance to prove themselves against Baltimore, and it didn't happen. And Bridgewater actually got hurt in that game.
Yeah.
They had Drew Lock coming out there to play, and as of right now, we still don't know where Teddy Bridgewater stands come Sunday, so we're kind of, because we're still early in the week. For those of you who don't know, we're recording this on Tuesday, and this should be coming out Tuesday, if not Wednesday, but we still don't know where he stands, whether he's playing or not. And that could be a big difference in the way I call this game. It really could be. I really like Bridgewater. I like what he's done so far. I like his mobility. I like the veteran presence. Locke has been solid, but I don't think Locke has it in him to beat Pittsburgh. I don't see it. For the sake of this video, we'll say, because Bridgewater's injury did not look good. The man was limping off the field, and by the time they were carting him off, he couldn't even walk. So for the sake of this,
it was a concussion, though, right?
It was a concussion, but he was having some struggles even just getting off the field in the first place. So for the sake of that, I'm gonna say Drew Lock gets the start here. I could be wrong. By the time Sunday comes around, Bridgewater could be good to go. But I think with an injury where obviously he's had injuries in the past, I think they play it safe. Even if he is ready to go, give him a week to rest. So for the sake of this, we're gonna say Drew Lock gets a start here, and this is a game that I'm pretty close on. I really think he go either way. Like we said, Ben has not. He looks like he's done, man. He looks like he should have retired last season, and it would have been a good time to let yourself go. I mean, you win 11 straight, go 11-0. I mean, they obviously got embarrassed in the playoffs, but I still think that was a good way to go. But Ben's got more pride than that. He's not going to go out on a where he threw 3 interceptions in the first 5 minutes of the game. That's not how he wants to go out. He wanted to give it another try, but it seems like he may be tarnishing his legacy even more by continuing to play this year.
Man, that legacy, he's got 2 bowls. I get that. But that legacy has been tarnished. And unfortunately, I think it's because of off the field stuff that he, obviously he allegedly did not do, but you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think a lot of that stuff has been tarnished regardless.
Oh yeah.
But talking from a football perspective, the man's done. He's done. I don't care. There's so many Pittsburgh fans out there that just adore this guy. And it's like, look, and matter of fact, I know one guy in particular that's a Steelers fan. I'm not even going to mention his name, but he's one of my good buddies. And his primary thing every single week is we need to fire Tomlin. I tell him all the time, how do you fire a coach that has never, ever given you a losing season in all the tenure that he's been with that team? He's never given you a losing season. His worst season was 8-8. His worst season. Granted, I think a year or two ago, they were winning 14, 15 games in a row, whatever it may be, the 13 games in a row, and then took a couple L's and then didn't do nothing in the playoffs. Hey, listen, those things happen sometimes in the NFL.
Yeah.
But to sit here and say that coach, let me tell you something firsthand, okay? Because I've heard this in the past with a guy that you know very well, Andy Reid, okay? Yeah. They've done this in the past. What did he do? He went to Kansas City. What is he doing now, Kansas City? He just won his 100th game. First coach to ever win 100 games with 2 different clubs. Let me tell you something. Andy Reid, phenomenal coach. I'm going to go right back. Mike Tomlin, phenomenal coach, okay? He's not a player. The players got to get out there and play as well. Coaching has a lot to do with it. Also, he does make mistakes. No doubt about that. But the bottom line is the Steelers have a washed-up quarterback right now, and they're not going to be able to make any moves right now to get another quarterback, primarily because you probably heard the little story going on with Aaron Rodgers talking about Philly, about Pittsburgh, and things like that. So I think they're going to kind of keep that, on the low a little bit and wait till the offseason and see what happens. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if they get an opportunity, they're going after AR. Please believe that.
Oh, yeah.
They're going after AR. There's no doubt. But this game, let's just get back to this game here. To me, still, I think Denver's defense is solid and solid enough to get this dub on the road. I think Denver's going to take this game by 10. I think the quarterback is so washed up. I really think this is going to be a 13-7 ball game. I don't see the Steelers scoring more than a touchdown. I don't. And 13-7 Denver.
I don't mind it at all. I mean, like you said, and I've seen a couple interviews with, Steelers management, coaches, even players, and they're saying this guy's struggling to throw the ball more than 15 yards. And that's got to be your sign to say, all right, this is it. Like, I got to get out of here. Like, you're already hurting yourself just continuing to play, but you got to be able to say, and even as a fan, you got to be able to say, my QB, who was once a Super Bowl MVP, now can't throw the ball more than 15 yards. It's time to let go.
That's it.
And I'm with you. I think the Broncos defense is good enough to hold down the Steelers. The offense is questionable. Obviously, Drew Lock hasn't had much time to play just yet, which is why I can understand your low scoring. And I'm on board with you there. My score, I'm going to call this one, I'm going to give it 20-10. I think Locke can get in a touchdown. I think Melvin Gordon will be able to grab a pair of field goals. But I think, the Steelers just struggle bad. I don't see them winning more than 3 to 4 more games for the rest of the season.
I don't either, man. It
might just be Mason Rudolph time. It might be time to throw the backup in there. While Ben's still on the roster, let him teach the guy a thing or two before he heads on out.
No, you can't even say Mason Rudolph. Dwayne Haskins, see what you got with him.
Haskins, too. Another young guy on that team. You might as well. But, so you heard it here. Broncos going to show out. Not going to be a high-scoring game, but I think the Broncos will pull it out, moving up to 4-1 and continuing to hold first place in that AFC West somehow, some way. But nonetheless, let's get into our next game. It is going to be the Chicago Bears and the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the Raiders we just saw last night got absolutely destroyed by the Chargers. Justin Herbert and company, they've been doing their thing for sure. We'll get into their game right after this one. But the big thing for the Bears that we got to talk about coming in this game is their running back, David Montgomery, out for the next, I was told, 4 to 6 weeks with his injury. So they're not going to have him. Damian Williams, who should be a familiar name from that Chiefs Super Bowl team, is going to be taking over as the running back one. Raiders coming in at 3-1. Bears coming in at 2-2. Let's hear it.
Man, this is a tough pick.
This is another one.
This is a tough pick right here because the thing about it, because I can easily go ahead and pick the Raiders. I really could. I can easily pick the Raiders. They're going to be in Las Vegas. I could easily pick the Raiders to win this ball game. But you just don't know what David Carr you're going to get. That's my issue. You don't know what David Carr you're going to get. Are you going to get that David Carr that's just lighting it up, just dotting all over the place? Or are you going to get that guy that's just going to constantly throw, a bad pass after interception, after bad pass, after overthrow, after this, after that. I mean, the weapons that he has, they should win this game easy. They really should. They should win this game easy. But I'm just going to do a quick score on this one because this is a tough game. I'm going to take the Raiders to win this one. I think it's the final count of this one. I think is going to be 21-20. I think it's going to be a 1-point ball game.
So you got a close one.
I got a close battle. Because again, I don't know what car you're going to get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tell me what car you're going to get, and I could really make a prediction.
Yeah.
But I don't know what David Carr you're going to get, man. This happens every year. I got another guy, one of my best friends back in New Jersey, big Raiders fan. He calls me every time these guys are playing, and he's either cussing him out or he's in love with him. And but more so cussing him out.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, man, like, I just don't know what David Carr you're gonna get. So I'm gonna go 21-20, Raiders on top.
Okay, and like you said, if we get that Carr who's just not all there, not making smart decisions, playing sloppy, then I could see the game being 21-20. But I think if he's out there doing his thing, on point, then they could win this one by a good margin. But the way I see it, obviously, we still don't know who's going to be starting for this Bears team on Sunday. It's another weird situation, similar to what we had last week, where it was, is it going to be Andy Dalton? Is it going to be Justin Fields? Is it going to be even Nick Foles coming out there? And I think Fields will get this one. I think they'll bring Fields back out for this one. And I'm not a believer in Justin Fields yet. I'm really not. I haven't seen enough from him to feel confident in giving him a win, especially against this Raiders team, who's not phenomenal, but they're an upper tier team in the league, in my opinion. But I think the Raiders get this one. Not really too much to talk about here, but I think as long as Carr can use his weapons, as long as he can use Ruggs, as long as he can use Waller, Josh Jacobs, they still got Kenyon Drake out there as the backup running back. As long as he could just use his weapons and play to their strengths, they should win this one, no problem. Don't get me wrong. Khalil Mack is still there. He's still a guy to watch out for. But I think the Raiders have enough to get by the Bears. Now, my score is going to be, I'm going to go a little bit more lower scoring. My score, I'm going to go 17-13 in favor in favor of the Raiders. I think they put up 2 touchdowns, grab a field goal. And the Bears, I'm just not a believer in Fields. I just don't think he's got it in him to hold down that offense just yet. So 17-13 going to be my score. But either way, we got the Raiders coming out with this one, moving up to 4-1 and continuing to hold first place, as well as the Broncos in that division.
Okay.
Moving on, we're going to talk about the team we just spoke about just a couple minutes ago, the Los Angeles Chargers, who have been red hot. They're going to be matching up with a fellow 3-1 team in the Cleveland Browns. Now, both these teams have played pretty damn well coming into this week, and I think this right here is, there have been a couple tough matchups, but I think this one is my toughest one so far.
This is a tough one. This is definitely a very tough matchup here because both teams playing well on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball. This is such a, oh man. I mean, they're going to be playing in SoFi, but obviously it's it's great weather.
Yep.
So that's gonna be good for Cleveland as well. Man, I think I'm gonna give the Chargers the home field on this one. I'm gonna give them the home field on this one, and I think they're gonna end up winning this one. I gotta give them a 3-point win. 3-point win. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. I think it's gonna be a 30-point battle. I think it's gonna be a 30-point battle right here. I'm going 35-32.
Okay.
I'm going 35-32 in this one. I think there's gonna be a high scoring game. I think for the Browns, I think OBJ, I think he gets off the schneid a little bit. He's struggling a little bit right now. With just dealing with obviously he was dealing with some injuries and everything else, but I think Odell is gonna get off the schneid a little bit and start to get some cohesiveness with this QB again, with Mayfield again. So I think he's gonna get off the schneid and start getting some things going. I'm a big Odell fan too. I love Odell. So I really do hope that he gets off the schneid and gets some things going. But again, I gotta say though, right now, Chargers, man, they're just you got you got some players on that team. I mean, did you see Cook last night? I mean,
Oh
we're not
my
even
God.
talking about Allen. We're not even. We're not talking about Allen. We're not talking about Mike Williams. He's got a basketball team out there that he could throw the ball to. Okay, and that has got to be such a blanket for a quarterback to deal with.
Yep.
So, with that being said, Justin Herbert, he's got so much he could do with that offense, and I think it's going to be phenomenal. And I think at the end of the day, they're going to score big points in this game, but it's going to be a 3-point game. So I got 35-32, Chargers on top in SoFi.
Okay, man. I'm on the spot now. This is, like you said, such a tough game, but oh man, this is the thing. I'm actually gonna go the other way of what you said about Odell. I think Odell struggles this week. I mean, last week was the best game we've seen out of him in the last 2.5 years, and it was only a 50, 60-yard performance. I don't see it again this week. And it's honestly just kind of something I think is going to happen. There's no real statistic or specific reason I could really give you for why. So Odell, I don't really see him producing that much. The Chargers, super stacked offense. I think they get this one done with ease. Similar score to you. I'm actually going to go with the same score as you just because I like that pick. I'm going to go 35-32 in favor of the Chargers. They come out with a big win. And we're going to move on. We got 4 games left now. And we're going to go over to your Giants matching up with the Cowboys. Now, I want you to keep this in mind before we get started. I was not biased with my pick. I'm expecting the same from you right now.
Oh, nah. Anybody that knows me, I am not a biased person. I'm the type of guy that I will, I will bottom line tell you like it is. If my team stinks, they stink. Now, let me tell you something. With the Giants, I was extremely proud of how they played this past Sunday, without the past few weeks, we have not played bad. Daniel Jones has played fantastic football throughout this season so far.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not get it twisted. I think he's been playing great football thus far. He has those Eli ways sometimes where he gets that old G. Gosh Willikers interception, fumble, whatever it may be. That ends up costing us a game, and that only happened in the first game. The past 3 games, you know what I mean? He's been lights out.
Oh yeah.
He looks like he's getting it. That's the key. He looks like he's getting it now. The Giants need an offensive line, and they need to overhaul the front office to get things together for an offensive line and more pieces.
Yep.
They need to work on the O-line to protect him and to allow Saquon Barkley to do some work. But what the Giants need to beat the Cowboys, they're gonna need their running game to come into effect because the Cowboys defense have been balling out the past few weeks.
Oh yeah.
They've been balling out the past few weeks. To talk about us beating the and I'm sorry, I just gotta keep saying us because I'm a Giants fan. It is what it is.
All good.
But to talk about the Giants beating the Cowboys right now, I think it would be idiotic.
Yeah.
But in the same token, it's not impossible because it depends on what you get out of the Cowboys. Obviously, they're gonna be in their stadium. I think if Zeke gets going, we're gonna have a hard time.
Yep.
If Zeke gets going, we're gonna have a hard time. I think it's all up to Zeke. If Zeke has a phenomenal game, let's just say he has an 85-yard rushing game with 2 touchdowns. If he has a game like that, we're not winning the game. I don't think we'll win the game because it's gonna open up so much for the Cowboys to do if Zeke is running the ball effectively. So, and he's known to do it.
Yep.
So if I talk about a score right now, I'm going to say right now, 27-20, the Cowboys will win this game 27-20. 7-point game. I think it's going to be a close game.
Okay.
But I really want to see what the Giants could do. If they can keep it close, I think it'll be somewhat of a mental win for the Giants.
Okay.
But don't get it twisted. I think they still can win. But right now, I see the Cowboys winning 27-20. That defense is just playing phenomenal right now. 27-20, Cowboys on top.
Okay, and damn, you covered it all, man. I got to give you credit. You covered all fields there. I kind of just got to give my score prediction now. I think, obviously, the Giants, a good team, young team, got some potential in the near future. Not this year, though. I think the Cowboys are the better team. Their defense, like you said, the defense has looked phenomenal. The offense has been okay. It's done enough for them to be 3-1 right now. And they got a big win last week over Carolina, and I don't think it stops anytime soon. So, like you said, if Zeke gets going, it's a guaranteed win. If Zeke is a little slow, it becomes more of a 50-50 on how well the Giants can play. But I still have the Cowboys winning, and my score prediction is going to be, I'm going to keep it a little closer. I'm going to go 24-20 in favor of the Cowboys. I think Zeke will be a little bit off his game compared to what he normally is. I think the D-line linebacker core of the Giants will do enough to keep it close, but I still got the Cowboys 24-20. Now, we got 3 games left, all of which should be pretty quick. Nothing too crazy to talk about. So our final 425 game, we got another NFC West divisional matchup. The other 2 teams, the 49ers and the Cardinals. And now there's 2 big statements I have to have said in this game. For one, the Cardinals just took down the best defense in football with ease. And the second thing is the 49ers are starting a rookie quarterback this week in Trey Lance. Jimmy G out with an injury. We still don't know. It looks like maybe 2 to 3 weeks. But I'm going to let you take over, let the people know what they need to know.
I think right now, man, not even because of the Trey Lance start. I actually like the Trey Lance start. I like what the Niners are doing with Trey Lance. For obvious reasons, they have to do it. But I like Trey Lance. I liked him coming out of college. I think he's a great fit for the Niners. But he's not a great fit for this team, for this Cardinals team right now. This Cardinals team, loaded. You know what? I live out here in Arizona. And the one thing they talk about a lot is the addition to Green.
Yep.
Green has been an absolute beast.
He's been hell of a player.
Man, like I think he right now is the MVP to me, the MVP on that offense. He might not be scoring more than everybody else. But I think right now, MVP wise, I would say it's gotta be Green. He has been just so phenomenal for that team. A big body wide out. He's got tenure in this league. He knows what he's doing out there. And furthermore, the biggest reason for getting a guy like that here, in Arizona, is the factor that he actually is out there teaching guys. Okay, like Moore, for example, the big-time rookie that is balling out of control, too.
Yep.
This is another guy balling out of control, and he's going to be an incredible wide receiver as well. And I'm talking about Rondale Moore for anybody that doesn't know. Listen, at the end of the day for this game, Cardinals on top. Cardinals have been putting up 30 points. It won't stop here. Cardinals, I'm telling you, 45-20. Wow. 45-20. I'm calling it here. Full out blowout in this ball game. 20-point blowout in this game.
Okay. You pretty much covered everything once again. You got me covered here, man. I ain't got to say too much. You're being my stat guy right now. You got it going, man. I'm on the same place with you, man. I think the Cardinals take this one pretty damn easily. I'm going to call it 34-20. I'm not going to give it that much of a blowout because I still think Deebo Samuel has been phenomenal. He's done his thing. I think they're going to be a little bit closer. But 34-20 going to be my score. Kyler keeps up the phenomenal game, 30-plus points per game, and they come out with a win. So now, 2 games left going into our Sunday night matchup. The game of the week by far. 3-1 Buffalo Bills. 2-2 Kansas City Chiefs, man.
You know what? I'm going to talk pretty quick with this one. My second favorite team is Buffalo, primarily because they're number one. The reason why I really started watching football, was because of Thurman Thomas. My favorite player in the world. Love Thurman Thomas. But I was always obviously a Giants fan because, I just grown to love the Giants.
Yeah.
But my second favorite team was always Buffalo. And I'll tell you what, man. Josh Allen, I don't know what it is about this guy, but man, just looking at him back there, man, taking these hikes, and he is just sensational. Like, this dude is too much, man. He's got the strongest arm, I think, in the league. Yeah. He's got the strongest arm in the league, and he makes it look so easy. He's got Absolutely. Weapons. Emmanuel Sanders has been a godsend for this team. And he's shown improvement. Obviously, Stephon Diggs, incredible. Dawson Knox, absolutely incredible. I mean, this whole team across the board offensively, I don't know how the Chiefs are going to stop them. I know the Chiefs have a better defense this season, yes. And the Bills might have a tough time stopping them as well, too. But this is going to be a shootout.
Yep.
This is going to be a shootout. I'm telling you right now, I am going 38-35 in this ball game as well. 38-35. Bills taking the dub on this one.
Okay, I'm going to go a similar way, and like you said, I think the big difference is going to be the Chiefs' defense struggling. When we talk about it, an offensive shootout, it just comes down to who can play better defense. You know you're not going to get a lot of stops. It's just going to come down to who could get the few couple stops to kind of get it. I'm going to go the same way. I got Buffalo winning, and my score is going to be 41-38. Close game.
Close game.
My call is going to be a Tyler Bass game-winning field goal in the final 2 minutes. I can't say it's going to be a buzzer beater, but final 2 minutes, Bass grabs a winning field goal, and they win that one 41-38. So we are finally on to the final game. We've been going for a while.
Yeah. It's a great show, man. Great show so far.
Absolutely, and we are down to the final game. But unfortunately, this one is not as exciting as the other one. No. Monday Night Football, Colts and Ravens. I'm just going to let you do your thing, man. You've been giving me some good stats, some good information. I'm going to let you hold this one down.
And this game is stinky. This is a stinky one right here. Ravens is going to take this game. They're going to dominate this game. Let me give a bit real quick. You know what? Let me give my score first, and I'm going to give a shout out to somebody on the Ravens. Okay. Big shout out. Okay. The score of this game here, and the Colts, they're not necessarily slouches, but the score of this game here, I got to go 30-13. Okay. 30-13, Ravens are going to take this game. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let me give a big shout out, man, to Harbaugh. Okay. Shout out to you for that last play yesterday. Shout out to you for that. Or Sunday. Shout out to you for that last play. Keep your guys' momentum going. I don't care what nobody says. You heard what the Denver coach was talking about that ain't football, this and that.
Yeah, nah.
Yes, it is. Stop that, man. If you don't want him to get it, stop him. Period. You don't want him to get that 100 yards rushing for the 42nd or 43rd straight time for the team. You know what? Stop him. Big shout out to Harbaugh for making that call and telling your guys you believe in them and you ain't worrying about what anybody else says. Screw everybody else. Big up to you for that, Harbaugh. To me, you get player of the week here. For AFC and NFC, you get player of the week.
Yeah, I agree, man. I get you like the kneeling thing. It's a respect thing, but come on, man. You about to break a record. You got to give them some leeway there. They needed 3 yards.
Man.
It's crazy, but hey, they did their thing, got that record, came out with the win, and I think they're gonna grab another win this week. My big key guy here to watch out for is gonna be Latavius Murray. He's really stepped onto the scene this past couple weeks, taking over that running back one role. I think he's gonna grab a touchdown in this game as well as a couple for Lamar. My final score here is gonna be 27-13. So you got 30-13. I got 27-13, but that is going to wrap it up. We went on for quite a while, but we're having some conversation, man. Having fun. Time goes quick when you're enjoying yourself, man. But nonetheless, Snypz, it is an honor. I appreciate you so much for hopping on here, brother.
I hope you can let me come back here again soon, man. I enjoyed this a lot, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, brother. We got 12 more weeks plus playoffs. I can assure you'll be on at least one more time.
Damn.
But
We
nonetheless,
got to talk some NBA too.
oh, for sure, brother, for sure. We'll probably do, if I do end up making a little early NBA prediction video, all that good stuff, I'll definitely have you on that for sure, because I know you ain't no slouch with the NBA either. But nonetheless, I know you do got to run, so we're going to make this intro real quick. As I said, I appreciate you having on. All of Snypz Socials will be in the description. Y'all go check him out. And yeah, man, we are going to get on up out of here. It's been your boy CG and my guy Snypz, and we out. Peace.
Deuces.